This is a part two. But like I was saying though, because I don't like to do all of the intros. Welcome back again. But yes, of course, this is a part two to the previous video. Like I said, the devils, they know the Bibles. So why would they not create a narrative, right? For people to follow, right? And make people feel like it's the truth when it's not obviously the truth. Because everything, a lot of the things that are in the Bible, it could be taken spiritually, but you need to have discernment to understand. But there are things as well that are very physical in a sense of materialism, in the sense of desire of the flesh. But you have to read. You have to know what you're reading, not just certain verses that help you with motivation. Yes, that's fine, but you have to know what you're reading. Those are testimonies. Why otherwise would they be called Saints Mark, John, right? Peter. All these are testimonies. They're not the holy scriptures. They can be referenced as that because the word is of them. The word of their testimony is truth, and it has some relevance, to exactly what truth was and what truth is. The tabloids were written in truth. The people that are the people that are in power are the ones that hold those truths. They don't tell you that. The same way there, every other religion in this world has no denominations except for Christianity, and then Christianity is the main targeted religion. Nobody questions that. So if there's so much problem within the religion itself, why would it not be true? That means there's something hidden in the Christian belief that a lot of people are not understanding. I heard somebody talking about Josephina, right? And in the story of that. And I told him, listen, in my mind, I'm like, first off, we know that the letter J is not congruent to the actual syllables. It doesn't matter if it's in English or not. We speak English. That's a made-up language. Meaning it's a language that was conglomerated together and fused and mixed with other languages. That includes the demonic language, the reverse language. That's why it's so easy to create these little parables of speeches, right? That can be double casted, meaning somebody don't have to speak backwards, but they can say one phrase that can be slurred and it can sound very, very heinous. Or if they do say backwards, go ahead and tell me what it says. The same way a lot of these artists, they make songs, you listen to their songs backwards, you get a different reaction. And it's not just backwards. It's more than just that. There are altitudes to sounds that will make you attracted. They will literally tell you, they put you in a trance, you just don't know it. You're not aware of it. They put you in a trance to chill out. They put you in a trance to feel some type of way. The sublimities, understand that the subliminal messages can't do as much harm to you as you would think it does, but it doesn't do that much harm to you for real. It's the imagery. See, you have the subliminal messages, and then you have the imagery. The visuals of what these people are personifying themselves as, and they're narrating these things to you, projecting them to you, is what really destroys our cognitive understanding. Because now a lot of people want to be like that. And so what they have is they have inside workers that basically, co-sign to how people feel because people want to live their life based off opinions and not logic. So what do I mean by that? Okay, let's put it like this. It's like saying you have somebody that's going to start instigation, that's going to instigate, right? So this person instigate, and then you have people that they're all the people that knew about the instigation that's going to start. They already were made aware of this, and then you have the people that surrounding them that don't know about it. But all of this is directed and targeted to one person. Now, somebody that is basically already made well aware of this, they're going to hype up the person that's instigating to create more of a scenario for the people that are surrounding that don't know of it to accept it, so that now the directive of the scenario is pointed against that one person from the very beginning. So they're supporting each other by by fooling people and making them feel as if by agreeing with them they're any better, when that's never the case. When that's never the case, it's never the case. It's never the case. All these people, they know what they're doing. They very well know what they're doing. Majority of these people, you think that the art, a lot of people, a lot of y'all don't realize that a lot of what goes on in the music industry is connected to the FBI, the CIAs, and all of them. Where else do you think they get their information from? Through magic alone? No, they have to do, like, if you don't think that the CIA and the FBI, bureau, don't have any sophisticated, that's probably the best word, sophisticated attributes of things. I'm just gonna say things that can be very, very hypnotic and controlling and evasive. If you don't think that they don't have any of those tactics, first let me ask you this: where do you think scientists learn all of their science from? If it's not by the old school, what they call magic, alchemy. That's where all of these theories are based off. Because the concept of the materialistic is to what? Convert, right? So things are consistently converting. It doesn't have to change the shape. It doesn't have to change its form or its properties. Does that make sense? And I'm saying this in a very basic way that could be understood. Where if you have not gained a picture, it's like saying this: the phone that you're using right now, right? There's a lot of sequences of, or you could say schematics of what is happening, the projection of light that you're seeing, how energy is imbued in the distance between the, how energy is imbued in the distance of the sight that you have, and what light plays in this scenario, where it gives, depths to your perception, to what you're able to see, how far you can see, and what structure you can see from the vibration that holds it together. All of these things, they have a purpose. Now, a lot of people would not been able to understand it if it was not for science. So where does the science come from? Because science alone would not have been able to understand those things if it wasn't given to them already by people that understood these things way better than them. They just wanted to materialize these things in a sense of them showing this to people and scaring people. If they tell you that, let me tell you this, let me give you this scenario. If they tell you that in the Egyptian times, right, people were able to turn sticks into cobras, right? You had people that were able to leave their bodies, right, and watch their whole entire civilization, right? What did they call them? Seers, right? So what makes you think that, what is that different than astral projection? If I'm correct, right, that's considered astral projection. People leaving their body, their physical body, right, to go and watch other people. If they can't get to you through these devices, that's what they would do. Okay, but let's continue the actual verse, because I didn't have the verses for this other. I don't have the verse numbers for these other verses, but we're gonna make the best of it though. And the subject for this one says, and this is still a contradiction, by the way, and contradiction to the modern societal activities. And it says what, as a subject, all that is hidden will be revealed. And it says what? Christ further said, all that has been planted and that was not rooted by Eli will be discovered. So if you're a fake Christian, you will be considered a fake Christian once you expose yourself. It doesn't matter how long you hide yourself. There are a lot of there are a lot of fake Christians that get a lot of publicities. They started off well, then they started moving into the direction of evil in the worst way because of what? Lucrative exchanges, favors. Let's continue. The next subject for this verse is says, "Can't be blind leading the blind to their doom." Mm. The verse says what? Leaving those alone that are the wicked. Leave those alone that are the wicked. My apologies. Let me read that one more time. Leave those alone that are the wicked. That are the wicked leaders of influence. For they are already blind. For if the blind lead the blind, both will fall. But Peter asked if he can explain this parable. Christ said to him, are you still confused? How, so I'm hoping you guys are not confused. Because that was very punctual. How can you be blind, right? You can't see at all. And you lead somebody that's blind. And I'm saying this in a way where, like, if you know better, if you don't know no better, how can you tell somebody any better? That would be then what? An opinion. And it's not, it could be a constructive opinion, but it can be also a destructive opinion. Where it can play the part of destruction rather than actually building and constructing. So if you're blind and you're a leader and you're leading people, what about the people that you're leading? They're gonna be blind too. The both of you gonna fall. So if that's your narrative, then kudos to you for that. But not over here. We don't do that. We talk truth over here. No matter how bad people want it to be. I mean, no matter how bad people look at it and they cringe. That's exactly what this channel is for. For you to cringe. Not to be hated on. Not to hate, right? For you to cringe so you can have the aspect of at least holding this information. So that when something is gonna happen, right? You'll be able to think about it. You'll think about it and it's going to come back to mind. And then once it come back to mind, the applied conditions will eventually meet the scenario. It will meet a scenario that then you're going to be like, oh, this then starts to make sense a bit now because I didn't think about this until I put that, video of a concept that I was given, right, in mind. Like I said, we're not here walking as zombies. We're not zombies. But there's a lot of people that want us to be zombies. There's a lot. And I just can't do it. So as long as this platform or any platform exists, even if I got to step outside, I would do that for the sake of our people. Because why? There are way less people that are going to make it into the kingdom of the heavens more than it should. And that's the sad part. That is the sad part. And that's what hurts me the most because there are people that know good. There are people that know Christ and they don't care. They just do not care. They know of him. They know the truth. They just don't care. And it's not them 100% because we battle not against the flesh. Of course, I could say the principalities, I could say the dominions, the thrones, the powers, but they all, even those four words have meaning. It's a concept in each one. And I'll give in a description and then in the description and the definition of those words previously in a couple videos. I would say maybe like 20 videos back then. So please don't like I said, I'm not here to force anybody to be Christian. If you are new to this channel and you're not Christian and you just want to watch it just because. But it's just the love that I have for you that please at least keep it in mind. Hold it to your heart. At least you don't have to believe me, right? Just ask Christ. Just ask the influence of our creator's ethics. Ask him to show you, to give you real purpose to see if what I'm saying is even true at all. That's all. I'm not gonna be like, oh no, if you did bad that you're gonna go straight to hell. If you don't believe you're gonna go straight to hell. Yes, that's very true. Because like the way that we know that killing is not good. So I don't have to tell you logic. You know logic. I just ask that if I care about you and you care about yourself, just like how everybody else that's non-believers try to tell me their story, and I take that to heart because at the end of the day, I was once in their shoes. I might not have not been a believer, but I definitely was not the best person out here. I stepped away from a lot of stuff. So just taking in consideration just people's words and try to understand people, that's all I want. Understand me. So if you believe it'll be the best thing for you, at least to my perspective, to my beliefs, to my experience. It'll be the best for you. I believe that's the best for anyone and everyone. So please take these things into consideration. It's not about hate, because I would never be here to tell you anything about hate at all. I don't hate none of you, nobody, at all, at all. But we have to actually start building this world back into what it should be. I know that it doesn't look like we want it to, but understand that the times of the end days are still at hand. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that we can't be of good. That doesn't mean that we can't build a scenario for us to be of good. Do you think that our Father wants us to suffer? He want us to bring people back to him, but he does not want us to suffer. He allows us to suffer because of the choices that we also make upon ourselves. But he doesn't want us to suffer. He really doesn't. He look at you with extreme potential. All of you are favored. That's why you're still alive. You have the potential of making good choices. Not even good, but great choices. Every last one of you are very bright, intelligent, wise. Just know what is good for you. All right. I'm not saying that I'm here to finesse you. I'm not here to manipulate nobody. Like, we're here, we're talking about Christ. I add things that are, scientifical, right? And things that are good, in a sense where I'm not going to tell people, oh, just because that there are commands to things to give things a function in life, for things to exist, that, yeah, no, I'm you have to believe in Christ. You have to. No, I would love for you to. You should, to my perspective, you should, but I don't want to force you. I want you to believe for yourself. I want you to actually walk in the actual journey so you can experience that yourself. No other way. And that's where a lot of pastors are failing. They're failing our people. They're failing our people. They're failing us because they're not teaching us. The church used to be a place of teaching, and is no longer a place of teaching. It's no longer the place. We have an educational system, bro. I'm just saying, like, it's crazy out here where, like, there's a lot of stuff going on where we don't have to deal with the stuff that we deal with, but we have to at the same time, because who else is going to who else is going to say the things that we need to hear? There's so much perversion and sexuality out here that kids themselves, they don't know any better, and they're not being taught any better. I even wrote some poetry, some poems for these things, just for people. Nothing deep, nothing crazy, but just it could be a song if I wanted it to be. I might actually post it up on here, one of these platforms, just because, like, people listen to music. You can't even listen to a bar without hearing sugar honey iced tea, fuck this, f this, bitch that, all of this. Like, why? You would think that with all of the technology, we should be advanced. We're moving backwards. We are moving backwards. I'm not the best in literacy. I mean, that don't mean that I'm ignorant. It doesn't mean that I'm blind to things. Like, no, I'm very, 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 very cautious and aware of what I do. Let alone the things that I see and things that I know. What I know is important, I keep in mind, and I help people with that. I've been dealing with a spiritual warfare that, personally, a lot of people, they're gonna look at me when I tell them certain things like I'm crazy. But then it's like, they're gonna know. So certain things that I'm gonna say, it's not gonna be like, oh no, he doesn't know. No, you're gonna know that I know. I just don't want you to think that you're gonna continue doing what you're doing forever. I want you to understand that I'm giving you the grace by not exposing you myself. Because understand that everything that's in darkness will come to light. That's just how I feel personally. So a lot of you that's out there, please don't do get backs. Be the example that people need. Be respectful, be humble, be loving. Okay? Let's continue into the word before I give you the inspiration. The next verse, the subject for that says, watch your narrative and what others sponge from you. It's just a matter of time before reveal. And what does it say? Do you not still understand that everything that you say comes from within? So if you're evil, you will say nothing but evil things, meaning everything that is said from the bottom of your heart will always come to the surface, for your heart sets your true intentions. I actually said intentions better that time. I think I said it properly that time. I don't know, but help me out here, please. All right, but yes, the heart of a person shows exactly what they've been. People don't understand other people's pain. Some people, they've been through so much hurt that they lost hope and their heart became callous. That's why we have to be example unto other, because it sometimes, you know, slamming a book into somebody's, next to somebody's face, it's not always going to get their attention. You're not going to be able to talk to people if you don't even know what they're going through, if you can't even relate, if you can't even feel what they're feeling. You're not. Sometimes you have to let people, go through the things that they do. Sometimes you don't have to talk to people. Sometimes just show exactly what you're supposed to do as you do it. So if somebody don't say hi to you when you say hi to them, at least you said hi. At least you said good morning. At least you said grand rising, whatever the case is. At least you said something to them that was not negative. That matters because you're setting the example. You're actually being the leader. You're actually showing people what it means to be actually a Christ kin, or more so a Christ of a body, a Christ-like being, a kin of our Father's promise, an heir of his rulership. You're showing it. We have to start being more affectionate towards each other, and not in a negative way, not in a weird way. It's already too much seduction and too much sexualizing situations out here, because kids should not be seeing some of this stuff. And you know what I call that? Being ratchet. That's what I call that. This booty shaking stuff, this being almost completely naked in front of people. Like, my eyes, I respect my eyes. I don't care if a woman is beautiful, however beautiful she is, 1,000% or not. Don't be showing body that, and oh no, I was not licking my lips because of that. I'm just saying that I don't care, but respect my eyes as much as I respect you for me not to even look in your direction when you're dressed like that. Respect my eyes when you put a shirt on that shows in between your bosom, that your melons, all of these things. Respect my eyes, because at the end of the day, I don't have to look at you, but if you walking past me and I happen to look somewhere close to your direction, respect my eyes. I'm respecting you by not thinking any other way but you being a person and not even looking down there, because at the end of the day, that's how it should be. But respect my eyes. Respect my ears, my words. If I don't disrespect you, where's the disrespect coming from? Where's the misunderstanding coming from? That means you don't care about yourself. You want attention for the wrong reasons. All this hot girl summer stuff, no. And don't think, women, sisters, don't think that I'm against you. I'm not against you. I'm not against you. Because a lot of y'all will come on here and be like, oh, he doesn't like women. No, I love women. I love all women. All of my sisters, I love you all. Brethrens, and I'm going to speak to my brethrens too, because at the end of the day, some of them are the reason why some of you women are the way that you are. Vice versa as well. Brothers, I can't really say too much to them because we could walk out without a shirt and we don't have all of these things. But if it's distracting to some women, yes, I will highly suggest that you men wear a shirt, wear something to protect yourself. You don't have to wear everything, but wear something. Be respectful to women, just as a woman will be respectful to you, or as however that you expect respect to be. You can't tell your woman that she can't dress a certain way, right? And then you got her and she was dressing like that from the very beginning. That means she don't know what she's doing. So you have to teach her. Relationship is not about force. It's about teaching each other. It's about building. It's about having a structure of morality, right? And principles on integrity. It's about loving each other. It's about setting the example for each other. It's about having a structured law for each other. That's why there's so much relationships out here that fail, that are unsuccessful, because a lot of people, they're out here just going against each other every single day. They're fighting and going to war against each other every single day for the same thing that they want, but they just looking at it differently. Or their homegirl or their homeboy told them this and that and then and the third. Or they have the demons working around them and they just don't know it. Like know that it doesn't matter. Like the words say, if you are in a relationship and you're in a marriage and you go and sleep with somebody else, it doesn't matter what it is, and you guys end up doing that, idolatry. I don't care what you want to say. Oh, people get no. Like the same way, I'm gonna give you guys an example. I said this, and I don't want people to think about it in a negative way. I mean, there's no reason to not think. There's no reason to think about it in a negative way because it's very logic. We have to be accountable for certain things. Like if a woman, for example, because we were talking about SA, right? For anybody that don't know, assault, right, rape, whatever the case is, right? Yes, it's terrible that people are getting raped out here. But if we know how the world is, you cannot be landy dandy thinking that you go to a bar all messed up, all drunk up on maximum 10, and you don't prepare, you don't have no posse with you, nothing. And you think that, and you mind you, and I feel so bad for the women that do actually go through this as well. Don't and you think that everything is gonna be landy okay. There's always somebody lurking. That's the problem. And because you're not fully preparing yourself, you don't even carry a mace. I'm not saying shooting anybody, but I'm just saying protecting yourself. You're so messed up you can't protect yourself. And further the situation, somebody drugs you. These type of things matter. And I gave somebody an answer. I was like, hey, if you like drinking so much, why not drink in your own house? Right? Why not drink in your own home and call your friends over? That way, at least you got people you can trust, and you can drink with them. You all get messed up. Hey, that'd be better. Everybody knocked out. So if somebody drugged they drugged themselves too. All of y'all knocked out. Ain't nobody doing nothing to nobody. I'm just that little part. I was just trying to put a little bit of humor in that, but forgive me if anybody took offense to that. But I'm just saying though, like we gotta be accountable for these things to a certain extent where like we know that we didn't bring no type of protection, no backup. Yes, people should not be, a lot of men, right, that are well, all the men that are doing these things, right, they should not be, they should learn how to keep their stuff to themselves, right? But unfortunately that's not the world that we're living in. So please protect yourself. And that's why I'm happy for some of for the women that actually don't make it easy for the men to talk to them, but then they're not also disrespectful to men. But vice versa, men as well. There's some men out here that get raped, that get assaulted also. And these things are very dangerous things to play around with. That's why personally I don't go to no, I don't take no drugs. I don't care if it's marijuana. I used to smoke weed all the time. I barely drunk. That's for sure not me. And if I didn't got drunk and high a couple of times. Yes, I had fun, but no, nope, nope. Did I take a pill? Yes, I might have took a pill. I mean, I was a youngin. I still am young, but I'm not that young. You know, when you're a certain age and you start looking at things a certain way, I'm saying that like I'm in my 50s or something. But no, when you start looking at things a certain way, you start to realize that a lot of people are making mistakes and they blame other people for the mistakes that happens to them. Yes, things should not be happening like that, but we have to be more careful of how the world is. We have to we have to start somewhere. Men and women, we like men, be accountable for the things that you do. Very be much accountable, because if a woman gets pregnant and you having sex, or you're making sexual you're colliding bodies with the woman, right? You might as well make her your wife, because fam, you can't call you really should not call yourself Christian after that. And I'm not talking about a religious, I'm talking about faithfully, because at the end of the day, what do you think is going to be considered idolatry? You can't be praying and keep committing idolatry. What's the purpose of your prayer? It has no value. Like I said, I'm not. I'm whenever I talk, I don't leave things down to one person. No, it's for everybody. It's for everyone. Because if a woman gets pregnant, well then you didn't want the kid, so are you gonna abort the mission? Like, it's not fair for the baby. Just like majority of us, we didn't choose to exist. Some majority of us in life was a mistake, but and then because of certain scenarios that applied, like finances, a lot of stuff, our parents did not choose to abort us, or tradition, or family stability. You could just basically put in one word. They did not choose to abort us. So there's a lot of things that goes in. There's a lot of things that go into that. So I would like for a lot of people to start, thinking about things in a logical way, rather in a realistic way, more than just their own opinions. Yes, be happy, but understand all of these things that I talk about is very relevant to this world, and it's not a joke, because once you are in a situation that you cannot get out of, understand that you will be accounted. Understand that murder, it doesn't matter how many weeks old is, unaliving is still going to be accounted. It still will be accounted. Because let me give you an example for those that are Christians, right? When Christ was still an infant, he was what people call a sentient, right? He wasn't really this what people calling babies that are infants that are not well yet formed all the way. When he was in the womb of Mary, right? And he came close to his cousin John. John leaped in the belly of his mother in joy. So to say that what? The babies are very much aware. They are very much aware. They are very much aware. And that's just in the spiritual aspect of Christianity, of religion, of just spiritual, right? Spiritual ethics. But in reality, right? When we're talking about just the common time, it's still the same. Because you can't have sex and not think that and know that you know kids are not, how else and I know that kids are going to be eventually be something that can pop up. That means you weren't taught right. So people are just out here colliding bodies because they can't control the libido. That's what that means. So stop having sex, especially with the wrong people. Because not only that, you're contracting their demons. So when things are gonna go a certain way for you that should not be going for you, and you get upset because things are going a certain way, that will be on you. Not only are you gonna have to fight the demons that are persecuting you, you're gonna have to fight the demons that are persecuting them for you. Because once it stop following you, it stop fighting you, it's going to be fighting the person that you got it from. I'm pretty sure you guys are really familiar to the word legion. So please don't underestimate this. All right. Let's get into the inspiration. And I got the verse for this one actually. This is gonna be in verse 19, and it says what? Control yourself and reject fleshly urges. That's wild. All right. Your heart can command intrusive thoughts such as murders, adulteries, fornications, theft, false witnessing, and blasphemy. These actions are what set a man to wrought of evil. Their hearts will be dirty, but their hands are clean. I say they're still dirty. So you can trick so many people, but is your intention righteous? Like I said, I can look at a woman and I will literally, if I have to watch a show because I like the actual entertainment of the show, and people are dressed a certain way, and if it's starting to bother me to a certain extent, I will start putting tape on it. If it's bothering me beyond just, if it's like a little annoying and I'm like, hey, the clothes is a little bit distracting, I'm gonna just, I'm gonna put some tape on the screen or put my hand where I can't see nothing. If it starts to bother me like terribly, I will hop off of the video. I don't care if it's YouTube, TikTok, whatever the case is. I do not care. I will hop off of the video. Like surprisingly quick as well. I don't even play about that. So if your mind is stuck on negativity, is stuck on fornication, that's where your mind is going to be at. Because at the end of the day, what else is it going to be on? I have and literally intrusive thoughts is not just in the sense of like, oh, it's usually contradiction. So if you have truth, they're gonna bring delusions in it and then start overrating or exaggerating. They're gonna exaggerate the delusion so much to a point where it can be it can be something that will last long in your mind, or it can be something that can be quick, just so that you can have that perspective and then you get an urge. That's why I don't even play about that. I don't care. I could look at somebody and don't feel an urge. And I know what I'm dealing with. It's not something that's normal. It's a spirit. So I'm going to tell that spirit, get out of my face. Step away from me. Depart from me. I don't have no business with you. What are you doing? Contradiction after contradiction. All right. So being spiritual, I'm going to give you guys one more thing. Being spiritual, it's not about the practice of crystals and all of this stuff. It's about staying founded, right? Founded. When I say founded, it's basically the short term of me saying foundation. It's basically saying rooted, right? Having a foundation. Because there are a lot of things that happen, and if you're not, we can't protect really ourselves. We can try, but there's, like Christ said, Satan's cannot cast out Satan. So if he was Satan, he wouldn't have been able to cast out Satan. They have a formal order amongst themselves. That's why that's why it's easy for them to do what they do. It's very easy for them to do what they do. So the way that they are, we have to be better. Way better. Because a lot of people are taking this spiritual thing and just running off with their mouth and thinking that people are just going to be listening to their stuff, and then it just doesn't add up. Remember, I gave you references of the Bai and Baal. I gave you the references of the textures, the testimonies, the apostles, the saints. All of these things, you have to put two and two together, because there's not much more that I need to say. If I give you everything, then it's like you'll be able to think, but then somebody else can come and then give you another perspective. And if you're not thinking for yourself, it's not a self-realization, then it will not stick. Then it won't stick. The spiritual is about the foundation. So if your foundation is based off of intrusiveness, you're not going to be able to focus enough. And if you're thinking about energy, you're not going to be able to focus enough to even pull energy towards you. You're not going to be able to focus enough to generate a certain amount of energy, to command a certain amount of energy. Because yes, those are aspects of you being able to be Christ-like. Because where else do you think that power comes from? You get what I'm saying? Literally, the force is with you. You just got to stop overthinking things. Be founded in your belief in the spiritual aspect of faith in Christ. That's all. All right. And for those that are understanding what I'm saying and that are not Christian yet, kudos to you. All right. I just pray and hope that everything is well and that all and every last one of you have the best of what you can gain and that you are supposed to receive, right? And I pray that a lot of you, yeah, just be well, be favored, be strengthened, be given wisdom, discernment, all of it in the above. All right? Be loyal, be trusting, be loving, be an example. Until another video, love you so much. Thank you for joining me. And all right. And if somebody told you they don't love you today, tell them I said that I love them and you. So they gotta take my kiss. So if they don't take my kiss, here goes another one. All right. Thank you for joining me again. Until another video. Ciao.